Hello, welcome to my channel, Our Lady Rose. My name is Jess. Today I'm sharing our very minimalist way of teaching language arts. I have been homeschooling now for about 8 years, and I've tried a lot of different curriculums, so many, and have spent a lot of money on various different supplies. We live in a very small space. We are renovating an old church here in Tasmania. And because we do live in a very small space, I need things that are very streamlined. I need minimal with, I guess, kind of big impact. Also, just the way I like to homeschool. I just want to get those basic things out the way first thing, and then we can move on to our enrichment kind of activities and do life learning and just things that the children are passionate about. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you our language arts program. We're using the MSL primary language lessons. There are 3 books. They start, I think, at age 6 and you work through these books all the way till 16. And of course, the ages are just suggestions. I don't believe that children are behind or in front. They just are at where they're at, and wherever that is absolutely okay. For example, I've got my 11-year-old still working through this book, and that's absolutely fine. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Okay, so we use these ones and just a composition notebook, and that's our basis for our language arts. So I am going to take you along. So here is the first book. It's Primary Language Lessons by Emma Searle. So content, pages. And the lessons, throughout the book there are some artwork, so the children are able to still do artist study, which I really value. And then, copy the following, and that just gets copied straight into their composition books. So nothing gets written in here at all, which means that it is able to be reused by another child or a whole other family, which is just so fantastic. This book covers copy work, dictation, artist study, composition, and poetry. Memorization, they do memorization sections here. So this lesson, for example, we would actually do that lesson for a whole week, and then at the end of the week I will get my children to do a bit of a show and tell for their dad, and that's their opportunity to kind of show what they've been learning, and they all really enjoy doing that. We just slowly go through. Another thing that I really love about these books is that they're not graded. So in the sense that it's, it doesn't have on the front cover that this book is for year 4. I like the fact that the child's able to work through the book at their own pace and their own abilities without feeling like that they're behind or in front. So this is where my son's at the moment. So he's getting really close to finishing up and going to the next book, which I will show you now. It's this one, Intermediate Language Lessons. Contents. As I said, I have tried many different curriculums. This one is by far my favorite. I am not forever printing. I have used other curriculums in the past that required a lot of printing, and I would just be stuck with paper jams and using a lot of ink. So this is just so much nicer, and it's very similar to the first one, and just of course going up in skill. So at the moment, my 14-year-old is currently working through this one. This is where she is. She loves cats. And yeah, she's really enjoying it. And I also found that it really had a lot of what some other curriculums that we had tried have as well, without the extra, I guess the extra fluff. It's just, just the bones of the lesson, which I really value, because this isn't the only thing we do. We just do this first thing in the morning and kind of get this main lesson out the way, because I want to be able to move on to our enrichment activities and just child-led learning, which is really important to us. But I do really value having kind of a scope and sequence for our language arts. So I still know that, in our busy times in life, as long as we get that lesson done in the morning, everything else is all okay. Everything else is just a bonus, right? This is just my very minimal kind of requirement. So advanced language lessons. So the original series only had these two, and then I will double check, but I think it might have been a homeschooler. I should have read this beforehand. Okay, she's a qualified teacher with experience in homeschooling. She went along and wrote some parent guides for the books, and then also followed it up with a last book. And this follows the exact same style as the others. We haven't got to this one yet, but it is here, ready and waiting for my daughter for when the time is right for her. I'll show you the contents. Says that one as well. Okay, so I just went and actually got one of my teacher's guides. So I've only got this one, which goes with the second book. And the reason why I have it is because I actually purchased this one from like a Facebook marketplace, but for homeschooling supplies, on one of the pages. And the lady was selling this one and had included this in her bundle. So I grabbed them both. And I actually haven't really used it, but I do see the value in it as well. So the contents, so it just follows along with the lessons. Okay, and it just gives you kind of, I guess, expectations for your child's lesson, like making sure that they've got a full sentence when they're answering, and they're writing down a full sentence. Okay, so it's just like a little a help to the parent when working through. I'm feeling like I am going to want the advanced language lessons teacher guide for when we get to that book. So that's the teacher's guide. I'm just doing a really quick flick through now. This one is in a larger size, and that's really funny. I think I just turned my stovetop on. I'm currently on the stovetop, as I mentioned before. We are living in a renovator's space, so it's just like, wherever we can find a spot right at the moment. And oh, there we go, I've turned it off. The other thing I also wanted just to share is I have all of my kind of planning and my I guess my little diary that I show when they come along for our homeschooling review, it all just gets popped into this planner. I can switch out my booklets in here, and I just found this process to be very minimalist. I have a lot of different kind of things that I store in here, so I just wanted to share that as well. So I really just wanted to add that we live in Tasmania, Australia, and so the books were written in the Northern Hemisphere. So there's just a couple of lessons that have actually just changed to suit the Southern Hemisphere. So for example, there hasn't been many at all. For example, I switched out the children had to memorize and write down the months for the seasons, and of course I just flipped it and just made it so it suited our Southern Hemisphere. And to do that for that lesson, I just grabbed a blackboard and I wrote down the correct work that they needed to copy down for that lesson, and the children just, yeah, of course, just wrote it into their composition book, and it was, yeah, no problems at all. Another lesson I have changed slightly, and it was just to do with like animals that you would find in your on your nature walks. And so of course we weren't going to find squirrels and beavers here, so I've just put in some animals that we would find on our nature walks, which include, you know, wallabies and wombats and echidnas. So they are just the very small changes that I've made. I just realized that one of my blackboards is right here. I've got this one here. As I said, we live in a small space, so I like things to also be beautiful and useful. So I've got the blackboard on the back, and I actually picked this up from an op shop with this beautiful painting on the front. And yeah, I'll just write on there. And yeah, as I said, it's only been a couple of lessons that we've had to switch it up a little bit. Otherwise it's absolutely fine to use the Northern Hemisphere lessons for Southern Hemisphere. There hasn't even really been many any words that I've had to change the spelling for, which has been. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that video is helpful for you. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will be doing a bit of a series on our homeschooling for yeah, so definitely follow along if that's something that you're interested in. As I said, I've got everything now really streamlined, and just yeah, without all the extra fluff. You know, our time is very precious, and oopsies. Our time is very precious, and yeah, it's just really important that we have some really good systems set up, especially when you're homeschooling a few different ages as well. And yeah, just wanting to keep things minimal and just easy to be able to do, easy to be able to find resources, bonus points when it can be resource free, just things that you've already got. Which actually I will be doing a bit of a video on what I did before age 6 with my youngest, as yeah, you know, by the time I was teaching him how to read, I'd kind of worked out quite a few strategies that I found really helpful, and yeah, and just ways to be able to do it without spending a lot of money. Not a lot of printing, which is really important to me, and yeah, just leaving us with plenty of room in our day to be able to do the things that we really enjoy. And yeah, so I'll be sharing that really soon. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you will get notified when that comes out. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a really, really wonderful day, and I will be here soon.